Hello, good day, farmers. Welcome back to Habitat Farm. Please, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell if you haven't done so. I am your farm captain, Simeon, and today I'll be telling you what you need to know about tomato. What you need to know about tomato. Yes, there are lots of things to know about tomatoes, and some person might be thinking, what is it that we haven't known about tomato? What is new? We've been farming, we've been doing this, we've been doing that, but there are lots to know and we cannot dig everything out one. So I'll be telling you what you need to know about tomatoes. So you just watch the video to the end, and at the end of everything, please kindly like and share. Tomato is a soft and fast crop that grows to maturity between 20 to 30 days. That is between 1 month. The number of days include period of nursing and transplanting. Yeah, the period you nurse your tomato till they get to the time of transplanting till they started harvesting is between 20 to 30 days. That is within a month. You've started harvesting your tomato. That is one of the things you need to know about tomatoes. One of the criteria you need to know about tomatoes. So we have different type of varieties of tomatoes. There are up to 27 varieties of tomato, but here is the list of the popular ones. We have up to 27 varieties of tomato across the globe. So here I'll be giving us 10, a very few ones that are popular. So we have number one of it. We have the Better Boy. Yeah, Better Boy. Every one of us, most especially most of the farmers in Nigeria, will plant Better Boy. So, and we have another one we call Black Cream. So Black Cream, it might not be popular like that in Nigeria or in Africa, some African parts, but there is a tomato called Black Cream. So we have the number 3. It is Celebrity Tomato. You can imagine that, a celebrity tomato. So there is a celebrity tomato. It's one of the varieties of tomato. Then we have the Roman tomato, which is the number 4. We have Roman tomato. So Roman tomato is one of the variety tomatoes we are planting across the globe too. So number 5 is we have the Alligator. The Alligator, yes, one of the varieties of tomato is Alligator as well. So number 6 we have Money Maker. So Money Maker, every one of us plant Money Maker, and we can see that all these varieties of tomatoes do produce well if we take good care of them. So number 7 is Branding Wine Tomato. Yes, Branding Wine Tomato, as you can see in the picture, is one of the variety of the tomato. So number 8 we have the Big Beef. No wonder they call it Big Beef. Can't you see how big it is? So it is one of the varieties of tomato that we are planting that we might not be aware or might not know the name. So beef is one of the variety. And number 9 we have the Hillbilly Tomato. As you can see, this is Hillbilly Tomato. So Hillbilly Tomato is one of the varieties of tomato that we are planting and we might not know the name. So the 10, which is not the least, is Big Rainbow. Swiftly I'll be telling us 8 things we need to know about tomato. Yes, 8 things we need to know about tomato. The first one is how to plant tomato. Yes, how to plant tomato has to do with, number 1, you find a fertile land close to a river bank. Then number 2, you clear the soil. Number 3, you make a flat bed. Number 4, you spread the tomato seed on the bed. Number 5, you cover the bed with dry grass or erect a low palm kernel shade over the bed. Number 6, wet till the crop reach 15 centimeter tall. So number 7, then you transplant under a very cool weather. So you transfer it under a very cool weather, or else if the weather is hot, if the temperature is very high, there is 50% assurance that the tomato might not rise, especially if you do not wet it that very day. So tomato is a very delicate crop, so anytime you want to transplant them, you have to be very careful about there. So how to plant tomato has to do, you find a fertile land close to a river bank, then you clear the soil, you make a flat bed, spread the seed tomato on the bed, cover the bed with dry grass or erect a low palm kernel shade over the bed. So wet the crop, reach 15 centimeter tall. So spreading tomato is very simple. After you make the bed, you just have to send. Even technology has advanced so much that you can do that at the corner of your house without any stress, or without going to a river bank, or without going to any wet place. So you can do that in the corner of your house. So that is that about planting tomato. Number 2, how to nurture tomato seedling. How to nurture tomato seedling. How do we nurture tomato seedling? After taking out the planting processing, so to nurture them is to wet. To nurture tomato seedling is to wet. So we keep wetting tomato right from the day that we spread the seed. So we keep on wetting them from time to time. We wet in the morning, we wet in the evening, we wet in the morning, and we wet in the evening till they grow to that 50 centimeter tall before we transplant them. Number 3 is why you should keep the tomato farm clean. That is for a maximum income. If you want a maximum income, then you have to control the weed, you have to take care of the farm, you spray and do the necessary things that you have to do. So you don't let the tomato to share nutrients with any other crop, you get. So you have to weed and keep the farm clean. So when the farm is clean and the tomatoes are growing well, there is 100% possibility for you to achieve your goal. So to achieve whatever things you want to achieve from the tomato you planted. So keep the tomato farm clean for a month. Number 4 is why you should wet tomato. The only reason you should wet tomato is just for them to survive. So tomato don't have that long lifespan, so they easily die if they fail to see water. So that is why you have to be wetting them every day. So tomato hardly survive during dry season. So those who practice irrigation do wet tomato in the morning and they wet them in the evening. So you have to wet your tomato whenever there is no rain, so you keep your tomato wetry. So if you want them to grow and do well, so wet your tomato. That is the only reason. So if you want your tomato to grow and yield good fruits, because tomato need water very well, it's a kind of water crop, so you have to wet your tomato time to time, especially when there is no rain. Number 5 is why you should spray your tomato. The only reason you should spray your tomato is to control the caterpillars or the insects, the tomato pest, to control them. So once you allow tomato pest to start raiding your farm, they will start harming the tomatoes, and some will be getting rotty, some might not even grow to the point of yielding fruit before they die. So you have to keep control them and spread chemicals like chemicals that kills the pesticide chemicals that kills all those pests, that kills caterpillar or any other things that might cause harm to your tomato. So you have to spray your tomato with pesticide and tomato. There are some other chemicals that you can still use to boost your tomato, so you spray those things on it just to boost the tomato. So we have lots of chemicals you can use, so you use that to control the production rate of tomato. But you only do this when your tomato are already bringing flowers, so you started spraying them, so that they will have that strength, that power to get rid of any insect that is ready to cause harm to them, and they will grow and they will yield. Number 4 is what? Number 6. The number 6 is harvesting period. So harvesting period, this is simply the period you harvest your tomato when they got ripe. So when your tomato are ripe, the next thing you do is to harvest them. Failure to do that will make the tomato fruit to get rotten, so they will get, because they don't have long lifespan, so they get rotty. So the thing you should do is, when you notice your tomatoes are ripe enough to be harvested, so you kindly harvest them. And you have to take note, between 7 days tomatoes get ready to be harvested. So if you harvest in a day, maybe in day 1, so you should be, the next 7 days tomato will still be ready for another harvest. So tomato doesn't just it's not a crop that you harvest and you harvest it all, so they will keep on producing till they finish their lifespan. So you have to take note of that too. Between 7 days you'll be harvesting tomato. So if you harvest in day 1, you wait till day 7, you harvest. You wait till day 14, you harvest. So that is how you keep on harvesting tomato until it's died. Number 7 is how to preserve your tomato. I'll give you 2 steps that you can use to preserve your tomato, 2 natural ways that you can use to preserve your tomato. Please, it is not advisable to put a tomato to preserve your tomato in a fridge. Don't do that. It is 100% not advisable. Don't put your tomato, don't preserve your tomato inside a freezer, be it or a fridge. Please take note of that. It reduces the nutrient and everything like that the tomato contains. So please do not preserve your tomato inside a refrigerator. So the number 1 way of doing it is grind your tomato. After washing it, preparing it, then you grind it with a machine. After you grind it, you pour it in a pot. After you pour it in a pot, then you try to heat it with fire. You either use electric or you use your gas. Just heat it with fire and let it mix together a little bit, but please make sure it doesn't get burnt. So after that, you take little salt, then you pour it on the surface so that it won't get rotten. So that is the number 1. Boil it, then add little salt on the surface, then you'll be taking it little by little to cook. Then the number 2 is take the tomato, wash it well. After you wash it, slice it one by one, slice it, then you dry it in the sun. After you dry it in the sun, you wait for the water to dry off. It might take like 1, 2, 3 days, 4 days before it's got dry off. So after that, after it's got dry, so you can now pack them and put it inside a place you can keep it. Then whenever time you want to use it, you can now bring them out. After you take the little you want out, you soak it in water, is either in hot water or in cold water, until it gets softened. Then you grind. After you grind, then you use it to cook. So these are the 2 natural ways you can use to preserve the tomato. Number 8 is tomato marketing in Nigeria. There is a huge market for tomato in Nigeria, and some farmers says they don't want to go into tomato business. They don't want to go into tomato farming because it is too much. Tomato is never much because everybody consumes tomato every day. So we use it to cook our rice. We use it to cook whatever things we want to cook, like beans or soup and other things. So tomato is very essential in our life, and we cannot do but to consume tomato. So Nigeria at large, and even in some part of the world, we consume tomatoes a lot because it adds nutrients and a lot of things to our body. So never say it's because tomato is much you are not going into business. People are still making lucrative money from tomato in Nigeria, so you can still make your own money from tomato in Nigeria. So far you can plant it in large amount and harvest it in large way. So there are some people that might even come to your farm to come and pack them, and there are some people you can supply that they will be taking it to where they will resell it. So tomato is still marketing in Nigeria, and you don't have to be discouraged when maybe you farm tomato some years back and the business fell. So don't think about that. So there is rise and fall in farming business. So don't say maybe something happened some years ago and you don't want to go back into the business.
That is very wrong. So you don't know when you might be lucky. So tomato is still marketing in Nigeria well. So the people are still making lucrative money from tomato, and there is no fall from tomato business. It falls sometimes and it rises. So tomato is still adding to farmers' life. So you don't need to get discouraged. The tomato is still selling fast in Nigeria. Even Dangote has started producing tin tomato. So you should know, if you have enough tomato, there are people that will still come and patronize you and buy it from you. So there is still business. Tomato business is still doing well in Nigeria. So that is why you have to go into the business, because it is one of the fruit that we are consuming that we cannot do but to use it to cook in our daily life. So don't think the market has dropped. So there is no drop in tomatoes market. So tomato is still marketing and selling as fast as it is before. So keep planting the tomato and just take good care of them, and you will see how you can make large money from